And we are live, everyone. Welcome to your bi-weekly strategic education partner. Oh my goodness, I'm screwing up this morning. Haven't quite had enough coffee, but don't worry, that will be solved while we are going through this. But welcome to our bi-weekly strategic education partner moment series. This week, we are fortunate enough to be joined by Jacqueline Green of Evergreen Business Consulting. Jacqueline is a bookkeeper and does a fantastic job. So whether or not you are a sole prop or a corporation or a partnership, having good books is incredibly important. Whether that you're looking at paying how you pay yourself personally or pay yourself through dividends, having that set up the right way makes your job for your accountant a lot easier, plus keeps the CRA off your back. So both good things. So with all of that, I'm going to pass it off to you, Jacqueline, and lead us the way through the world of bookkeeping.
Okay, so let's talk about the exciting world of bookkeeping and what some of the benefits are of having a good bookkeeper in your corner. I'm going to, can I share, have you shared my screen yet, Alex?
Yep.
Okay. All right, perfect. So.
No, you have to go in and you share your screen.
Sorry. Let me get this right. Just give me one moment.
While you're doing that, see, I get to recoup now, so now.
Yeah, that's right. You get your coffee back.
Yeah, you're giving me a chance to be able to speak properly. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And that's a fair thing to do. Okay, here we go. All right, so I just wanted to give a little overview of about me. So I am the owner of Evergreen Business Consulting, where your bottom line is our business. I am a professional bookkeeper. I have over 20 years experience. I originally got a degree in economics and then decided I didn't want to be an economist when I grew up. So I went back and started taking accounting courses through university. So over the years, I've had experience across various industries, from service to product-based, inventory, real estate as well, sole proprietors, corporations, not-for-profits, the whole works. I've also been a 5-year member of BNI Mavericks, which is how I know Alex as well. So I've been on my own for about 15 years. So a little bit about our firm. We are a full cycle bookkeeping company. And what that means is that we manage either all or whatever part you need done. So we manage your customer invoicing, we'll take care of your bill payments, we'll manage payroll, submitting your GST, WCB remittances, T4s, all of it. Our focus, however, is cloud-based accounting applications. We try our best to automate as many of the back-end processes for our customers, so it makes the whole process of keeping track of your records and filing a lot smoother and seamless. So you're not spending a lot of time, whether it be putting together paper packages for your bookkeeper or accountant, or trying to do it yourself. So, and I'll get into a little bit more about the types of software that we use to automate a lot of these back-end processes. A quick FYI, we are QuickBooks Pro Advisor certified. So that means we also have access to discount on QuickBooks subscriptions. Certified Xero Advisor, which is another popular accounting software here in Canada. And then we are also a partner with Dex. Dex used to be called Receipt Bank, and it's now just been changed to Dex. And it's a way of automating your receipt and expense management. And I'll get into that a little bit more as well down the road. Pluto, we're a partner with Pluto, and that's another way for people to manage their online bill payments and also to collect their receivables a little bit more seamlessly from their customers as well. So our focus is to help design custom software packages, what we call stacks, to help you manage your business. And that can be done whether you're a sole proprietor or you're incorporated. And We do spend a little bit of time getting to know your flow, what your needs are, what your expectations are, just kind of how you run your business, because every agent is a little bit different. And then we tailor make the packages that best suit the way you go about doing your business and help partner with you to keep you on top of all of that. Okay, so go to the next slide. Our goal for our customers, just to reiterate, is to create efficient accounting processes to manage your cash flow while growing your business, and also to provide accurate, real-time overview of how your business is doing. And what this allows for you in the end, which is the most important thing, is it allows you to focus on what you're good at, which is growing your business, getting your real estate business growing and getting more customers, and focusing on the marketing aspect and getting yourself out there versus spending your weekends trying to stay on top of your paperwork. So what are the challenges that I have experienced with working with real estate agents? They don't like doing their own paperwork. And a recent survey has suggested that agents on average are 6 months behind on their bookkeeping. And that's just the average. I've seen where people have brought me a year's worth of historical data that we now need to put together. The bad part about that is that even though we can get all that information together for your taxes, which is of course important, what it doesn't help you throughout the year is as your business is growing, you don't have a sense of what your cash flow is, where you're going, what your biggest expenses are, where you can perhaps increase money you want to spend on marketing, because you don't have that real-time knowledge of what your books are doing. And one of the other challenges is that, especially for agents that are starting out, they're unaware of all the deductions that they can claim. This is where we can help point out what deductions you can add to your tax return, and make sure that you have the proper source deductions, or source documents, should I say, to back up and verify those expenses. And the other issue I find, especially again with newer agents, is that they don't maintain separate bank accounts. If you're a sole proprietor, it's a really good idea to still have a separate bank account so that all of your business expenses are going in and out of one particular account. And the other one that I'm going to touch on a little bit later as well is not tracking vehicle use and business mileage properly. That can be a really big tripping point with CRA, as that is one of the main things that they do like to audit, especially when people are using their personal vehicles quite heavily for business purposes. And that tends to be the case with a lot of agents, even if they're incorporated and their company does not own the vehicle. So you want to make sure that you have a really good system of tracking your mileage so that you can verify when CRA comes knocking that you have a way to back up the 70, 80, 90% claim of auto expenses because you're using your personal vehicle so often as a real estate agent. So where we like to help is, like I mentioned, we identify your pain spots, and then we provide accounting solutions around that. And then we take that paper and expense classification management off of your hands. And this allows us to have bigger conversations about where your cash flow is dipping and how you can manage those expenses until your next commission check comes in, those kind of things. So it allows for, when all of this back-end paperwork is taken care of, it allows for better and more growth-orientated conversations we can have together. So what are some of the things that we do or suggest to help people? Like I mentioned earlier, Receipt Bank, which is now Dext, is an online way of managing and collecting your expense documentation, and it provides you with the technology to send your receipt and your invoices directly to your accounting software as you receive them. And the reason why I think Dext is really good for real estate agents who are constantly on the go is that you can use your mobile app to snap a picture of your receipt, be it your gas, your parking, whatever it is. You snap it right there on the spot, and it sends it to the program online. And then we've got a permanent copy that gets stored with Dext for 7 years, which is required by CRA if they ever want to check any of your expenses. So even if you lose that receipt or it fades with time, which I see happens a lot with people who keep their their receipts in their car and the son gets a hold of it, we still have a digital copy that is accepted by CRA. And the nice thing with Dex is that it integrates seamlessly into your accounting software. So if you're using QuickBooks or Xero or Wave or a lot of the other ones, the bigger ones out there, it integrates really nicely into that and categorizes and expenses or classifies your expenses right away for you. And let's go on to the next one. So with that being said, my preferred cloud-based accounting software online is QuickBooks. And I am certified in QuickBooks Online as well. So do know it inside and out. So the benefit of using QuickBooks is that you can then track your commissions and your expenses in one secure encrypted place. It also allows you to connect to your online banking feed, which is really handy, like I mentioned, when you have a separate bank account. So any debit transactions, any automatic deposits that go into your company bank account, we can connect that to QuickBooks, and it'll pull that information in and categorize anything that we may possibly miss. And the good thing is, again, as long as we're staying on top of this, you've got real-time data, which means you can file your GST on time, you can file your taxes on time, and you won't miss any deadlines with CRA because we've got all the information throughout the year, and we don't have to be scrambling at the end of the year trying to get all of this organized by a spreadsheet or entering it into another type of accounting software to get you caught up. And it also just makes filing at the end of the year for your accountant easier. You can run reports of a balance sheet, profit and loss. You can run a list of your outstanding accounts payable so you know of any bills that you may still need to pay, and then also manage your cash flow accordingly based on that. So the benefit of using an accounting software is that you can then take a quick look at your books, wherever you're at, and get a sense of what you're able to do either now or in the future. And as Alex mentioned, this is really important when you are growing and you're looking at things like doing, whether it be commercial lending or taking on any other capital expenses. You kind of have to know where your books are going and where you're at and what you're able to manage in order to take on those bigger type business prospects. And then the other thing that I think we need to mention is that's really important, like I mentioned, is that mileage and auto claims, especially for agents or anyone who uses their cars a lot, their personal cars a lot for business business reasons, is having a really good way of tracking your mileage. One that I do recommend is called Mile IQ, and that tracks your mileage from your phone. It syncs to your desktop. It runs smoothly in the background. It doesn't take up a lot of memory on your phone, which is also very important when you're dependent upon your phone. And it can do additional classifications such as parking, tolls, that kind of thing. And then we can generate weekly or monthly reports of your driving activity and have a solid paper trail for CRA. And also just to calculate and maximize the amount of auto expenses that you claim. Now, if you're also using programs such as QuickBooks, it does have a built-in mileage tracker as well. But I thought I would mention Mile IQ just in case for those people who aren't already set up on an accounting software, they can still at least use this as a standalone application to track their mileage and make sure that they can maximize their vehicle benefits that they can claim. So all of this always rolls back to cash flow being king. So as a new agent or an established agent, the most important thing for you is knowing where your cash flow is going. And then, so by staying on top of your books and not just dealing with historical data, but real-time data, meaning that everything is up to date, is in there in accounting software, you can generate reports to look at where most of your expenses are going. Do you need to do any adjustments on that? If you want to increase expenditures in a particular area, be it client gifts, or you want to rent another office space, or do a trade show, you then get a better idea, a better lay of the land of where your money is going, what your business is doing, how well you're managing it. And then it allows you to grow your business comfortably because you actually have data on hand that makes sense, that means something, and that can benefit you. So this is probably the biggest benefit to having a bookkeeper in your corner, partnering with you to help you kind of lay out how best to manage your growth and to stay on top of things. And if you're interested in having a conversation with me, please feel free to reach out to me. I always do free initial consultations with people. I am on Facebook and on Twitter, on Instagram, and those are my tags, as you can see. So if you'd like to discuss anything that I've mentioned earlier, or let's see what works best for you, definitely reach out to me or to Alex, and he can put you in touch with me. So if anyone has any questions, let me know.
Yeah, let's, while our viewers are thinking about all their questions there, I'm going to ask, or I'm just going to make a point. When you're talking about separate accounts, even if you're a sole proprietor, most people don't know, they can actually open up a business account just underneath their personal name. And then that way, and every bank will do it regardless of what institution you're with. And then that's a great idea because then you can get a business bank or Visa card or MasterCard. You can get your separate account. And then if you want to open up a separate one there for your GST or taxes, you're more than welcome to. But then that helps your bookkeeper and it helps your accountant because then that way you're not going, what's what and what are you doing here?
Yeah, so, and that's where I find a lot of people end up missing out on expenses that they can claim, is because they run everything through their personal account and then it all kind of gets mumbled and jumbled in there and they forget a lot of the things that they've purchased that are business related. So if it's in one separate account, no ifs, ands, or buts, it's all there and you're good to go that way.
Yeah, and if you use the same, like any of the major 5 for sure, so RBC, TD, Scotiabank, BMO, and CIBC, if you open up your business account and your personal account through online, there will be some way to transfer funds. So you don't have to worry about or not being able to get money from your business to your personal if you're a sole proprietor. So those all do exist. One question I wanted to ask is, that we did get asked, is where do you service?
Pretty much as a remote operator, all throughout Alberta. As long as we're using a lot of this cloud-based technology, we're like Dext and such, where we can transfer data back and forth seamlessly, then I'm pretty flexible. So whether it's BC or Alberta or elsewhere, we can make it work if need be.
Okay, awesome. And then next question is, can you walk us through the process? So someone is like, hey, what Jacqueline was saying is resonating with me. I need to get in touch with her because I am more than those 6 months behind on my stuff, because I'm well above average. So,
of course.
Yeah. So how do when I get in touch with you, what's the process?
So what I'd like to do first is have what I call a discovery call. So we'll have a little chat for about 40 minutes, talking about where your business is at, how you've been doing business so far, find out whether you've been using what method have you been using at all to track your business income and expenses, and what your expectations are. Some people want to know on a monthly basis. Some people want to know on a quarterly basis. So we kind of get a lay of the land of that, and then find out in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, what are your goals too? Because that also impacts how you set up your books now. So if you have a very clear idea of where you want to be in 5 years, be it, say, a commercial agent, and you want to be able to own buildings and such down the road, then we want to set your books up in a way that can kind of scale with that. So we kind of go into all of that in-depth conversation, find out what your expectations are, and then from there, I'll come back with a quote saying, these are the things that I think we should put in place for you based on your expectations and needs, and this is the quote for the cost based on that.
Okay. And then you kind of touched on it. Real estate agents or real estate professionals love buying real estate. So at what point is the best to bring a professional like yourself into the equation?
If you're already contemplating and you're incorporated, you're already contemplating buying land or buying buildings, I would do that now, because what we also want to do is work with your accountant as well. So the bookkeeper can be that middle person that kind of has a good idea of what your expectations are, what it is that you want. And then based on where your books are at and what kind of lending requirements or any of that you want to do in the future, you want to be able to then pull your accountant into that conversation, and then partner with him to make sure that I'm setting everything up as best as possible to make his life easier down the road, so that you can do really good tax planning with your accountant. So that's the most important thing, is that it allows me to have that conversation so that your tax planning for the future and your growth planning with your accountant is seamless.
Perfect. Awesome. And then do you have any good connections with lenders?
I do with one at RBC. He's a commercial lender as well. And I can always reach out to him. I have one client that's looking to sell their business right now, so I put him in touch with him. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. You know what, Jack? Throw your screen back on so people can see how to contact you again, because that's the most important thing. We can't find you. We can't use you.
That's right.
So
on Facebook, and I did unfortunately forget to put my phone number on there, but you can hit either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and my contact information, my phone number, and my email is there as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Jacqueline. It was a pleasure to have you on again, and it was great seeing you.
Yes, you as well, Alex. It's been a while, so it's good to see you as well.
Yeah, so everyone, if you need to get a hold of a bookkeeper, Jacqueline is fantastic. But I wish you all adieu, and until next time, see you guys.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alex. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.